All right, for anybody watching, I'm here with my good friend Tim in Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm over here in Los Angeles. And Tim just agreed to come and chat with me real quick about what's been going on in Thailand the last few weeks with political protests and how he's been using social media to stay informed with what's going on in the neighborhoods around him. So, first off, Tim, what's up, man? How you been? How have things been going the last few weeks?
Good. Things have been pretty crazy. I mean, it's essentially been a war zone. Violence all over the city, fires, smoke covering the sky. Finally, the military moved in last week and sort of calmed things down. We've had a curfew over the weekend, and I think tonight's probably the last night of the curfew at 11 p.m. So hopefully everything will be back to normal tomorrow. The city's been working on cleaning up, but there's a lot of damage that still needs to be repaired.
So, being a foreigner in a foreign country, obviously, I'm sure this has been a pretty overwhelming experience, and staying informed with what's going on and where are you safe, where are you not, curfews, what's going on, has probably been really important. So, one thing that we talked about that you mentioned before is your use of Twitter. So, can you tell me maybe a little bit about how you're using Twitter and how you're using that to stay informed about the protests that are going on right around you?
Sure. Well, as someone who doesn't speak the language, the local media was sort of useless to me. I mean, they were running 24 hours on all the local channels with updates and all that kind of stuff, but I had no way of understanding what they were saying. And the Western media outlets like CNN or BBC were just giving general overviews, just saying things are going crazy in Thailand, but didn't give me anything useful about where I should or shouldn't go. So Twitter ended up just being the best resource for me. There were tweets coming in from all over the city. I followed two guys in particular who normally just tweet about what to do in Thailand, like day trips to take from Bangkok. But they ended up being these sort of impromptu journalists that everyone was tweeting at them, and they would then funnel all the important data onto their followers. And it was literally tweets, multiple tweets a minute from 5 a.m. till well after midnight, with updates all over the city. I knew, before I even looked out my window, I knew I'd see smoke from an intersection down the street from us because I saw a tweet about it. I felt more informed. I knew exactly where I should and shouldn't go, and when I needed to leave the area because it was getting too dangerous.
And how has internet access been for you?
Yeah, I was able to access almost everything. CNN has a few issues being accessed here, but I think that's more my service provider and not the Thai government blocking that. The only problems I had with internet was when power would go out in our neighborhood, but then I still had my BlackBerry with Twitter on it, so I could still receive updates.
Okay, and how close did things get to you? And at one point, you said you had to actually evacuate your building and get to a safe place a few miles out of town.
Yeah, there wasn't any mandatory evacuation of my neighborhood, but there were reports of some blockades going up near the main street closest to us, and we were sort of afraid that if the military moved in and pushed all the protesters out, they would head in our direction and sort of surround our neighborhood. And we didn't really want to be locked in our apartment for a few days while there was some intense fighting going around. So we took off and went to a friend's place a little bit outside the city where we knew would be perfectly safe from everything.
Did you use any other social networking sites besides Twitter, or was that the main one that you used to stay up to date?
That was the main one. I have a few friends here in Thailand that would be posting on Facebook, but it wasn't nearly as informative as Twitter was. So yeah, mostly just Twitter.
And finally, how are things now? It seems at least mainstream media in the States is saying that things are really dying down over there, and the government's got a real control on the protests.
Yeah, I feel totally safe walking around now. I've heard that there's still a few pockets of resistance, but I think it's really small. And yesterday I went just for a little tour around all the areas that had been burned and essentially destroyed, and felt totally safe. There were military standing around everywhere, police everywhere. So everything seems to be totally resolved. It's just a matter of cleaning up the city and resuming life as normal, I hope.
Well, great. Well, Tim, thank you so much for chatting with us. So
yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
All right.